And 67 years on, after Ghana attained independence from its colonial masters, some stakeholders have been sharing their views on the country's economic and industrialization journey so far. The following report has details.
On March 6, Ghana celebrates its Independence Day anniversary, commemorating its liberation from British colonial rule in 1957. Despite this significant milestone, the nation continues to grapple with economic and infrastructural challenges even after more than 6 decades of independence. Development economist George Domfe, speaking to Citi News, reflected on the vision of Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, recognizing his efforts to steer Ghana towards industrialization.
Immediately, he started with quite a number of factories, and the idea was to replace or substitute imports. Kwame Nkrumah did very well, setting so many factories, enough industrial area became an industrial hub of the country. He didn't even end there. He went to Tema and established a whole town to take a lead in the manufacturing process. And so let me say that a lot of things were put in place. Unfortunately, by 1964, most of the factories Kwame Nkrumah set up had already collapsed. You know, as we speak today, we depend so much on the global markets, what to wear, what to eat. Most of what we use, we've been importing. And that is why about 2 years ago, when there was global supply crisis from the COVID pandemic, it hit us so much, you know, because you always go out there to even buy toothpaste.
George Domfe believes that although Ghana has its political freedom, there is an ongoing struggle for economic independence.
I think Ghana Beyond Aid agenda is to deepen our independent status. It is supposed to deepen our independent status. Now, we want to live as people who want to do what they want, who want to use what they have to get what they want. Unfortunately, because we don't have money and because we are always struggling, we have been going to an IMF 17 times for them to give us financial assistance. And in the process, they tell you, do A, do B, sleep, don't sleep, get up, don't get up. And that doesn't, define, independence. I don't see Ghana as an independent country because we are still being told what to do and what not to do, apart from the fact that we have advantage of electing our own leaders. So politically, as I said earlier, we are, but when it comes to our economics, we still depend on them.
General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Kariwe, complained about the stagnation in Ghana's agricultural sector, saying it is due to ineffective policy implementation by government leaders over the years.
There was another massive, agricultural policy to catapult, that's the Planting for Food and Jobs. It was in the same category of Operation Feed Yourself, except that it came at a different time. But they were similar in all intents and purposes, because they all created jobs and they also produced enough for domestic use and for industry. And then it was supported by one district, one factory. So meaning that all the districts will have factories, and their factories are agricultural-based factories. So with the Planting for Food and Jobs, you produce enough to feed the industry. Unfortunately, this combination of policies were not properly synergized. It didn't happen well. Most of the one district, one factory are there. They don't get the raw materials. The link between them and the agricultural sector is not too good. And then poor implementation of the Plan for Food and Jobs again has also not made it successful.
Meanwhile, Deputy Director for the Institute of Educational Studies, Patrick Dankwa, suggests a localized approach to education to better meet Ghana's national needs and steer its educational trajectory in the next 67 years.
The study of snow in our textbooks, because it's not a problem that we experience. Now, What we are having right now is that we are quickly jumping to copy what Westerners are doing. We want to do STEAM, we want to do STEM, we want to do everything. But the main thing is that we should be able to localize these education to our problems. If we're able to localize the education to our problems, then we'll get the maximum benefits. Now, we can keep changing courses, we can keep changing programs, but if we are not able to link these courses and programs to the problems that we have as a nation, we'll not be able to achieve anything. So realize that we have people going to the university, we have a lot of PhD holders now, we have a lot of master's holders now than we had during Kwame Nkrumah's time. But what do you ask yourself is that now the roads that we do don't even last as long as the ones that they did several years ago. So what's our education teaching us? Our education is not actually solving the problem.